Hello. Okay, it's me again. I am getting ready to start making these sweet potato casserole, the mashed one that we make for Thanksgiving, and wanted to give you a brief overview of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Very simple recipe. So I'm going to show you some of the ingredients that we're using. I'm going to turn it around. So here we have the yams that comes in a can. You can use, regular sweet potatoes. You got to cut them up and all that and cook them, but this is much easier, faster. So the yams with the syrup. I'm using all of these cans, the two big ones, and I bought the two big ones because the small ones, it was a 4-pack, and I thought it was 4 of the big ones, and it turns out to be just 4 little ones. So I needed to buy 2 extra big ones just to make enough for all of us. So that's what we have there. We have butter, which we're gonna need. We have vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, orange juice, and of course sugar. I'm going to be using a combination of white sugar and brown sugar for the recipe. All right. So as I'm starting to cook, I will show you the next steps. Be right back. Okay, so to start off with, we have this nice big pot, which we have on the stove. We haven't turned on yet. In here, I have 2 cups of white sugar and a cup of brown sugar. Now, it looks like a lot, but trust the process. This is going to make the syrup that we need in order to coat the yams before we mash them to make it nice and sweet. All right. So 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of brown. We're going to cook this down. We're going to add the vanilla, the orange juice, cinnamon, and nutmeg to all this, and the butter. Okay, and then we're going to make that syrup, and we're going to add the yams after that. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so now I have the heat on. I am mixing up this sugar. You can see that it's starting to melt, and that's going to start the caramelization process. Right, so we're going to mix that up because we don't want it to burn. And then as it gets to the state that I like it, then we'll start adding all the other ingredients. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so here we have cans of yams, which I drained all the syrup out of, except for one. We have 1 can here. It still has the juices. We're going to pour that into the pot with the sugar. And we're going to put the orange juice to start melting that sugar. Okay, right now the sugar, as you can see, is starting to melt. It's making clumps, right, and it's starting to make that caramel on the bottom, but I don't want it to be caramel. I want it to be, have some of that caramel to make it nice and thick, but I don't want a full caramel because then it's going to get hard when you're doing when you're trying to mash up the sweet potatoes. So we have some caramelization going on here, as you can see, which is good. Clumping up the sugar with that caramel just to get it started. And now we're going to pour in the juice from the can of yams. And we're going to mix that up. Okay, that's good. It's a little bit sticking to the bottom, but that's okay. That's all going to come out. Have these chunks of caramel in there. I'm going to pour in orange juice as well. So about a cup of orange juice. I'm gonna let that come to a boil. feel on the bottom, scraping the bottom of all the caramel chunks. It's starting to melt now. Let that get going for a little bit, and then we'll be back. Okay, so now you see it's starting to boil. All the sugar has been dissolved. You see the nice brown color on it. It's coming along really well. And now I'm going to start adding all the other ingredients. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay, so here you go. As you can see, I got all the sweet potatoes in there. It looks like a lot, but remember, we're gonna mash these. So we're gonna let that cook down inside the syrup. See all that syrup inside there? And you see, although it looked like a lot of sugar and a lot of syrup, it's really not a lot when you look at it. And we want all that to cook down a little bit into the sweet potatoes. And then we're gonna mash it all up and put it into a pan. Right now I'm just gonna add my spices, which is my cinnamon. And you know how I do, like Mom used to do, your grandmother. De ojo. We're gonna add some cinnamon. All right, good. So we put in as much as our heart's desire. It's a lot of sweet potatoes, so we want to put enough in there so you can taste it. And then here we have some nutmeg. Okay, and then we're going to add some vanilla. This is about 5 squirts. That's homemade vanilla. I don't know if you guys, well, you guys, most of you know, I make my own vanilla with vanilla beans at home. So that's that vanilla extract was made in 2023. So it's 2 years old. So it's really good, very potent, good stuff. And then from here, I'm gonna take a quick minute break. I'm gonna cut up some of the butter and throw it in there to mix it in with the yams and the syrup to get it all working in there, okay? I'll be back. Okay, so here I'm putting in some butter. How much butter is that? It's about the big block of butter. I took about half a block and put that in there into my mixture. Okay, and I'm going to mix this all up. Get that butter in there so it can start melting. All those spices, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, all that stuff, all the goodies. Get it in there mixed up real good so that all the potatoes will get those flavors. There we go. And we're gonna let that cook down. All right, I'll be back. Okay, and also I forgot, you need a pinch of salt. Okay, salt with anything sweet is gonna make that all those flavors really pop. So you want to make sure you put a pinch of salt in your sweet dish. So this is about a pinch for that big pot of sweet potatoes. Okay, you're not going to taste the salt. It's actually going to just make all that sweetness better. All right, we're going to mix that in there. Okay, there we go. And we'll let that cook down. Okay, here we go. It's starting to cook down. As you can see, it's starting to bubble, boil over. It's getting thicker, the sauce in there. So that's what we want. So thicken that up. It's going to take a little bit more so we can get started and smashing this stuff. But you can see I'm smashing it already as I'm doing the stirring. And that's going to make it nice and thick for the next step. I'm going to lower this a little bit so that it's not spilling all over the kitchen. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, here we go. This is the final product. You already took the hand blender thing and mashed it all up. And that's what we're looking at. Those are your sweet potatoes. Now I'm going to put it into the tray. I'm going to let it cool off. Tomorrow we'll put it in. It's already cooked, so we don't do anything other than heating it up. And then once it's heated up for like 20 minutes, we're going to put marshmallows on it, toast it, and she's good to go. I'll show you that process hopefully tomorrow. All right, very good. Talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, so here we have the sweet potatoes in the pan, and now I'm going to be adding the marshmallows. So we're just going to pour those on top. Nice and evenly, and try not to make a mess. So we have to make sure we have enough coverage. Difficult to do this with one hand, but you'll get the gist of it. And then we spread them out. Make sure that we have even coverage of marshmallows on top. And wherever you see little spaces, you're just going to fill it in. That looks good. Looks pretty even. And then we're going to stick it in the oven and bake it until the marshmallows melt and they turn a little brown on top. Okay, I'll show you the end result when it's done. Okay, so here we are. This is the final product. Took it out of the oven just now. Took about maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and the marshmallows are nice and golden brown, melted. And then we're going to let that come, cool down a little bit before we cut into it to eat it. But this is what it should look like. All right. All right, very good. Talk to you soon.